In episode 200 of History Traveler, we had the opportunity to go to the D-Day experience at Dead Man's Corner in Normandy. This museum is on another level, and I would argue is one of the best museums in all of Europe. Just the sheer scale of artifacts that they have from the Battle of Normandy is jaw-dropping. Now, in that episode, we showed a few uniforms that belong to a few of the guys who were in Easy Company, who of course were made famous by the book and series Band of Brothers. And we said that we would circle back to that in an episode of American Artifact. So in this episode, we are going to be exploring some of the other items at the D-Day experience and talk about how some of the items of Forrest Guth and Dick Winters ended up at both the Gettysburg Museum of History and the D-Day experience in Normandy. Now, before we go in, here's something pretty cool that they've done. They have this Airborne Wall where people could sponsor one of the veterans and have their name up here to be honored. So here's one for Lieutenant Colonel Wolverton. If you're familiar with Band of Brothers, there are some up here that you might be familiar with. I saw one for Shames. Here's one in honor of Dick Winters. And another one of the Easy guys who was honored here, if I can find it now. Yeah, here we go. Is Brad Freeman, who was the last surviving enlisted man of Easy Company. And as you can see, it says from Cheryl and Erik Dorr in honor of PFC Bradford Freeman. Pretty awesome that they saw this wall and saw that there was a gap and decided to honor him. All right, we're going to go inside now.
I've filmed several videos about Dick Winters and the collection at the Gettysburg Museum of History, and many times we'll get comments about the Dick Winters collection in Normandy. And they say, oh, how can it be in Gettysburg? Because I've seen it in Normandy. Our European friends have already seen it here. And the answer to that question is that Major Winters sold many of his items in the 1990s to a few different collectors. One of the collectors was the co-owner of the D-Day experience. The items we got, for the most part, came from a different source. So his items kind of got scattered around. And the items you see here are the ones that were bought originally by Michel Detrez, and he had them for quite a while. And he bought these directly from Major Winters. And a few years ago, Michel Detrez also had a museum in Belgium where he was interpreting Holland and Belgium and what was going on there, and he decided to only focus on Normandy. So now he kept the Normandy related items, and he sold the Holland and Bastogne items from Major Winters to us. So we have that collection as well. But he does have some of this Normandy equipment here. So you can see items when you come to Normandy where he actually fought, and you can also see items in Gettysburg where Major Winters lived nearby. And same thing with Forrest Guth. Forrest Guth was also an Easy Company. He served under Major Winters, and they have his complete Normandy outfit here at the D-Day experience. Now, Michel sold me the Holland items and the Bastogne items a while back. So we have those items at the Gettysburg Museum of History. And also his Forrest Guth's son recently sold me the firearms, which Michel could not bring to France. So that is the reason why you have multiple items in multiple places. I mentioned also the photographs of Forrest Guth. You know, we have some of them and they have some of them. The negatives got split. Michel got some of them, and Dick Winters ended up with some of them, and those are the ones we have. Now, we also did a video earlier about the Marmion farm and the action there, and these photos were included on that video. And this flag right here is the one that Forrest Guth is posing with in this bottom photo, not the top photo, but the bottom photo. So this is the simple answer of why there are Easy Company related items at the D-Day experience and the Gettysburg Museum of History. And it's not just Easy Company. Same thing happened with Jack Agnew. Same thing happened with some of the Lieutenant Meehan crash items, the Pratt crash items too. So you can't have everything in one museum. You know, it's better to have a few items here and a few items in the United States. I mentioned that many items came to the Gettysburg Museum of History through the D-Day Experience Museum, but that works both ways. I want to talk about this helmet in the case. It's the helmet of Private Orville S. Martin, and you notice the symbol on the side, and that is the symbol for 3rd Battalion, 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 82nd Airborne, and it has his serial number inside and his initial. So we were able to identify that to Private Orville Martin. The reason this helmet is so rare, number one, it's an M2 helmet. It's a true airborne helmet. It has the D-bail hooks that hold the straps, which is rare. They usually broke off. And the other thing that's really rare about this helmet is, by the time they got to Normandy, they painted over that line and just had a cannonball in there, a black cannonball. In the Italy campaign, this is the way they originally had them marked. And so most of the ones that you see were recovered in Normandy or later, and they will have a cannonball. There's some other examples in this case, but this one is in its true early configuration. And the reason we theorize that it's in its true configuration is that at some point Orville Martin mailed that helmet home. Now, why did I give up that helmet? Well, the reason I gave up that helmet is because the co-owner of the D-Day experience wanted it really bad, so bad that we were able to come to an agreement where he traded me one of Dick Winter's jackets for it. And so for what we were doing with Dick Winters, I thought it was it was better for our exhibit to have Dick Winter's jacket, and he thought it was better, and this was a post-Normandy jacket that they were no longer interpreting in this museum. This was his Holland jacket, and it was perfect for us, not so perfect for him, and he started doing a lot with the 82nd and the 505th at that time, so he wanted it, and it was a great mutual exchange. And so we work together like that. You know, we have a great relationship with the D-Day experience, and you know, we get items from them, and once in a while they'll get an item from us, and it's a good partnership.
Here's a quick interesting thing to add about this helmet. After the trade between Erik and Michel Detrez here at the D-Day experience, well, Michel Detrez actually found a picture of the veteran wearing this very helmet. So kind of cool that the story was completed, and that we can now not only see the artifact, but we can see the man who wore it. All right, well, there you go. So if you wondered like why some of Dick Winter's stuff is at the Gettysburg Museum of History and some of it is in Europe and some of it is in other places, well, there's your answer. And now maybe we have a little bit more, I guess, complete story to go with the collection of some of these well-known figures who fought in World War II. But if you're ever in Europe, or if you're ever in Normandy, definitely come to this place. It is phenomenal.